morning, my name's Joella. Thanks for joining me for some yoga this morning. We're going to get started in just a second, but before we get started, I just want to remind you to make sure that you're listening to your body. So if anything doesn't feel good, you can feel free to take any modifications that you want. I will prompt some modifications as we move through our practice. And then of course, if you have any underlying health conditions, please make sure that you've cleared it with your doctor to start an exercise program. So today, if you have a yoga mat, that would be helpful. If not, you can practice this on the floor. Just you want to make sure that you're on a surface where you're not going to slide around. And then also, if you have a yoga strap, that would be useful as well. You can also use like a belt or a sweater or a towel or anything like that that you have. Really what we're going to be doing with this today is putting it around the ball of our foot and holding onto it with both hands. So anything that you have that would fit around your foot and you can hold on to, you can use that instead. But if you don't have something like that, that's fine too. I'll show you how to skip that when we get there. So go ahead, we're going to start laying down on our mat. If you have a strap or something like it available, you're going to want it within hand's reach. But go ahead and just lay down into Shavasana. You can close your eyes if that feels comfortable here, but just find a comfy spot on your mat. If laying down flat to your back doesn't feel right for you today, you can sit up or even bend your knees, feet flat to the floor and knees into touch. So just find a comfy spot where you can stop and focus on your breath for a moment. And just notice how you're feeling today. If anything's tight, anything sore, maybe you feel really great and energized, but notice that and then be aware of it as we move through our practice. Again, beginning to bring our awareness into our breath. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose, and exhale, sigh it out your mouth. And again, inhale through your nose, sigh it out your mouth. One more time like this. Deep inhale through your nose. And sigh it out. Now beginning to bring our breath just in and out of our nose. Nice deep inhale through your nose. And exhale out your nose. Then again, inhale. And exhale. Again, nice deep inhale through your nose. And exhale. One more time like this. Inhale. And exhale. This time, inhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2. In, 5, 4, 3, 2. Out, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, 5, 4, 3, 2. Out, 5, 4, 3, 2. Continuing to breathe like this on your own. Even inhales in your nose, out your nose. And on your next inhale, just gently hug your knees into your chest. Hanumanasana, gently rocking from side to side. Inhale here, exhale, extend your right leg, or your left leg, excuse me, down to your mat. Flexing your foot, so toes and knees pointing up towards the ceiling. Hugging your right knee into your chest. Just breathing here. Having that bottom leg engaged as if you were standing on it and fell backwards. So your thighs pressing down towards the floor. Outer hip hugging in. Exhale here. Inhale, hug your left knee into your chest. Extend your right leg down your mat. You can rest it on the floor, toes and knees pointed up. Inner thigh wrapping down towards the floor. Outer hip hugging in and breathing here. Just gently hugging your left knee in. One more breath. Inhale, hug both knees into your chest. And then go ahead, plant both feet down to the floor. Hips distance apart, parallel to each other. Spine's neutral here, so we want a little space in our lumbar spine between the floor and our back, like you can slide your hand under there. If you can't slide your hand under there, if it's pressed down to the floor, you want to think of moving your hip points toward your thigh bones just a little bit. All right, this is where we're going to use our strap. So again, if you don't have a strap, we're going to extend our right leg up towards the ceiling. You can interlace your hands behind your hamstrings, or if you can't reach your hamstrings, just holding onto your thigh, wherever you feel a nice gentle stretch. Now we're just warming up, so we don't need to be cranking our foot way back or anything. But if you have a strap or something like a strap, a belt or something like that, you can just gently put it around the ball of your foot and hold it in both hands. This knee can be bent as much as you need it to be. Just breathing here. Just gently beginning to open up our hamstrings, the backs of our legs. Now if you're here and you need a little bit more, you can extend that left leg down your mat. So now both legs are straight. One more breath here. And we're just going to take our strap into our right hand and gently open that leg out to the right side, moving that stretch to the inside of our thigh. Now again, if you don't have a strap, your hand can just be gently placed on your thigh or your hamstrings or wherever you can reach. One more breath. Inhale your leg back up through center. Go ahead, bend that left knee in. Take the strap off from around your right leg, and we'll switch sides. So right foot planted to the floor, left leg lifts up to the ceiling, and you can place that strap or something like a strap around the ball of your foot, and just for now, hold it in both hands. So you can have that knee slightly bent, or just holding wherever you can reach. Breathing here. Again, we're just warming up, so we're not trying to like go to our max, stretch right now. And again, if this feels comfortable for you, you need a little bit more, you can extend your right leg down your mat. This time taking both edges of your strap or your towel into your left hand and gently opening your left leg over to the left, making sure that your right hip stays grounded. So you don't want to take your foot over so far that this hip, your glute, reaches up off the floor. Think of pressing this whole leg down so that inner right thigh is still wrapping down towards the floor. One more breath here. Inhale back up through center, and then just release the strap from your foot and hug both knees into your chest. Gently rocking from side to side, massaging your low back, your sacrum. And then begin to rock forward and back. We're going to do this 5 times and then pause in boat pose, Navasana. So let's do 2 more. And last one. See if you can pause right in boat without putting your feet down to the floor. Hands can stay behind your knees or they can extend either side of your legs. Spine nice and long. Inhale here and exhale. Slowly release down towards the floor, hovering a few inches off the floor. Inhale, back up to boat. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale, back up. One more time. Exhale, nice and controlled. Lower it down. Inhale up. Hold for a breath. Go ahead, cross your right ankle over left. Bring it in and come up and over onto all fours. If that's not right for your body today, you can swing your legs out to the side and just meet us here on all fours. So wrists right under shoulders, knees right under hips. Wrist creases parallel or slightly turned out to the front edge of our mat. We're going to take a few cat-cow poses here. So nice deep inhale, coming into cow, belly button drops, tailbone lifts, collarbone broadens, making space through your spine. And exhale, belly button to spine, chin to chest, tailbone lengthening down towards the back of your knees, pressing down into your hands, tops of your feet pressing down into the floor. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. And cat pose while looking at my cat. Inhale back to neutral spine. We're going to do alternate arm and leg raises. So let's first inhale our right leg up, right to hip height. Again, toes and knees pointing down to the floor, outer hips hugging in. Belly is slightly engaged here so that our spine stays neutral. So when we lift up that leg, our belly doesn't drop down, but it's lifted. And then we'll inhale, left hand up, reaching out right in front of you, palm faces towards the midline. And exhale, place your hand on your foot back down to the floor, other side. First, just our leg. So inhale, left leg lifts. Keeping your hip right in line with your right, so not letting it wing up, but keeping it neutral. Inhale, right hand reaches forward, palm faces towards the midline, right to shoulder height. Neck is long, so we're looking down at the floor. And exhale, lower it down. Inhale, right leg, left arm. And exhale, lower. Right arm, left leg. Exhale, lower. Inhale, switch. Exhale, lower. One more time each side. Inhale, switch. Exhale, lower. Last one. Inhale, right arm, left, or right leg, left arm. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. All right. Coming into downward facing dog. Let's walk our hands out one hand space. Wrist creases still parallel or slightly turned out to the front edge of our mat. Pressing into our hands. They're shoulder distance or maybe slightly wider. Tucking your toes under, lifting your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Upside down V pose here. So feet are hips distance apart, heels lifted right behind your second toe. Knees a little bent here so that you can lengthen your tailbone up towards the sky. Almost to where like the wall and ceiling meet behind you. Outer upper arms wrapping in. Your triceps moving in towards your face. Shoulders gently moving away from your ears. One more breath here. Let's lower our left knee down towards the floor and step our right up to the inside of your right thumb. You can uncurl those back toes, bring your hands up to your right knee. For low lunge, just gently moving your hips forward here, stretching through our left hip flexor. We want to make sure our knee isn't coming forward of our ankle and that your heel is right behind your second toe, so your foot's not turned in or turning out, but it's almost like parallel to the long edge of your mat. Lengthening your tailbone down, lifting up on your front hip points here. Arms can come forward and up. The whole outer arm is wrapping in, like you're closing off your armpit. Next exhale, bringing your hands back down to the floor. And we're going to gently walk our hips back and lift your right toes up off the floor. Your hands can gently rest on your leg, just making sure that you're not putting any pressure there because we don't want to hyperextend. But we're in Baddha Konasana, half split. Again, just gently beginning to open up the back of our hamstrings. We're hugging our outer hips in here, so as we move back, we're not letting our hip fall out to the left. One more breath. Spine's long, so we're tilting forward from our pelvis, not rounding through our back. Walking your hands back up, placing your toes back down towards the floor. Placing your left hand underneath your left shoulder, we're going to inhale, twisting open to the right, making sure we're hugging in that outer right hip so that when we twisted, our outer hip didn't jut out. You can look up towards your hand. One more breath here. And exhale, unwind. Stepping your right foot back, coming into downward facing dog. Holding here for about 3 breaths. All right, gently place your right knee down to the floor, and then step your left foot up to the inside of your left thumb. Uncurling your right toes, left knee right over top of our left heel. Inhale, arms forward and up, low lunge. Tailbone lengthening down, hip points lifting up, outer hips hugging in, arms nice and straight. One more breath here. Just gently stretching through the front of our right hip flexors. And exhale, bringing your hands down to either side of that left foot. Walking your hands back, lifting your left toes up off the floor for Baddha Hanumanasana, half split, stretching our left hamstrings. Hugging our outer right hip in so we're not falling out to the right. Spine's long, so again, we're not rounding through our back, but lengthening through our spine. The fold is coming from our hips. One more breath. Walking your hands forward, gently bending that knee. Right hand comes below our right shoulder. Inhale, twisting open to the left. Left hip hugging in. You can look up at that left hand. Exhale, unwind. Stepping your left foot back, pressing into your hands, lifting your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Breathing here. Exhale here. Inhale, hinge forward to plank. So hips parallel to the floor here, pressing down into the balls of your feet, lifting up on your quads. Outer upper arms wrapping in. We're going to do a chaturanga push-up, so we're going to lower all the way down to the floor, but keeping our outer upper arms wrapping in so that our biceps and our triceps are going to brush across the sides of our ribs. You can always put your knees down here. Inhaling here, exhale, lower all the way down to the floor. Okay, you might need to scoot back on your mat if you're like me. So, hands are shoulder distance apart. We're going to scooch them back so that our wrists are right underneath of our elbows. Exhale here. Inhale, press down to the top of your feet, lifting up on your inner thighs. Hip points lifting up towards your low ribs. Inhale, chest, shoulders lift for Bhujangasana, Cobra Pose. Exhale, lower down. Doing that one more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower down. You can stay right there with Bhujangasana, or you can move into Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Exhale here, really press down to the tops of your feet. Inhale, everything comes off the floor except for your hands and the tops of your feet. You're whole sternum moving forward between your arms. Exhale, lifting from your inner thighs, hips up and back, downward facing dog. The bottom of your exhale, looking towards your hands, and walk your feet forward. So you're gonna forward fold the front of your mat. You can clasp opposite elbows here, and just gently sway from side to side. Release your hands back down to the floor. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, spine lengthens, crown of your head moves towards the front of the room. Exhale, fold. 2 more times. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Gentle, your shoulder blades gently pull together here. Inhale, broadening through your collarbone. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. Arms come up. Exhale, hands down to your side, Tadasana, mountain pose. Again, inhale, arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, bending your knees as much as you need to, planting your hands down, stepping your feet back, plank, hinge forward, shoulders come over top of the fingertips. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. 2 more breaths here. At the bottom of your exhale, look towards your hands. Walk, step, maybe float your feet up. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Tadasana. Again, inhale, arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, stepping your feet back, Chaturanga. Inhale, Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Pausing here for a few breaths, pressing into your hands. Outer upper arms wrapping in, lifting your tailbone, your sits bones up towards the sky. All right, we're gonna step our right foot up to the inside of our right thumb. Option, you can place that left knee down to help you get your foot up if you'd like. Heel toeing the right foot over to the midline, spinning your back heel down. So you're lined up, heel to arch, right knee right over top of your right ankle. Inhale up, warrior 2. So the whole back leg is internally rotated. So it's externally rotated with the internal action. So your toes and knees are pointing up towards the top corner of your mat. Arms come out to a T. You can look out over that front fingertip, pressing down through the big toe mound of that front foot so that your inner right knee is moving slightly to the right. We're not letting it collapse in, but you can see your big toe to the inside of your right knee. One more breath here. Inhale, straighten through that right leg. Exhale, right hand reaches towards the front of the room, bringing your right hand down to the inside of your right leg. Look up towards your left hand. That outer right glute cheek is wrapping down and under. Pressing through the big toe mat of that right foot, lifting up on your right quad. That left quadricep is pressing back into the left thigh bone. Exhale, look down towards your right foot. Inhale, back up to warrior 2. Straighten through that front leg. Feet come to parallel. We're going to put our hands right to our hips, pressing down through all 4 corners of our feet, lifting up on our quads. Sit up nice and tall and exhale, hinging forward from your hip points. And you can just place your hands wherever they reach to the floor, maybe your thighs, your shins. There can be a little bend in your knee here if you need. pressing down through your feet. Lifting up through your quads. So we're not just, going into the stretch to our max capacity, but we're containing it by using the muscle engagement. Your next exhale, you can allow your spine to soften, walking your hands back. Keeping the weight a little more forward into your toes so that your outer hips are right over top of your heels. One more breath. Go ahead, bring your hands to your hips, elbows pointing up to the sky. Exhale here. Inhale, press through your feet and come back up to stand. We're going to bring our heels in so our toes are slightly turned out. Inhale, arms out like an X, and exhale, goddess pose. Hips sink straight down, lifting from your inner thighs. Breathing here. You can gently sway from side to side. And then pause in the middle, finding equal balance in both feet. Nice and strong. Inhale, come back up to stand. Exhale, hands down to your hips. We're going to internally rotate that back leg and externally rotate the front foot from inside our hip socket, bending that left knee right over top of our left ankle, finding ourselves in warrior two on the left side. Really pressing the inner right thigh back. Pressing down to the big toe mound of the front foot. Breathing here. Go ahead, inhale, straighten through that left leg, and exhale, left fingertips reach towards the left side of the room. Pelvis tilts forward, bringing your left hand down to the inside of your left leg, right hand up. You can look up at that right hand, pressing to the big toe mound of that left foot. Breathing here. Exhale, look back down toward your left foot. Press through the big toe mound again of that front foot, coming back up through warrior two. Inhale, straighten through that right or left leg. Hands come back to your hips. Parallel your feet again to the short edges of your mat and to each other. We're going to do our forward fold again. This time, option to have a little shoulder opener here. So hands can clasp behind your back or clasping fingers, or if you still have that strap handy, you can hold on to your strap or belt or whatever you have at home that is like a strap or a belt. So again, feet are wide, hands clasped behind your back, pressing down through your feet, staying up nice and tall. Inhale here, exhale, hinging forward from your hips, arms come up and over. Keeping our weight a little more into the balls of our feet. One more breath. Your next exhale, you can release your hands back down to the mat. Putting your hands to your hips, elbows pointed up toward the sky. Inhale, nice long spine, sitting all the way up. Go ahead and externally rotate your right leg, internally rotate that left leg. Warrior two. Just for a second, our hands are going to come back down to the floor to either side of our right foot, stepping it back to downward facing dog. Breathing here. Pressing into our hands as we lift up on our forearms, triceps wrapping in, shoulders moving away from our ears. Little bend in our knees so we can lengthen our tailbone up. Inhale, right leg up and back for three-legged dog. Outer hips hugging in, toes and knees pointing down towards the floor. Right to hip height, so we're not bringing it way up. Exhale, stepping it forward to the inside of our right thumb. Back heel stays lifted this time. Right knee right over top of our right ankle. Coming all the way up, high lunge, Untitled. Little bend in that back knee, lengthening our tailbone down, lifting our front hip points up away from our thigh bone. Again, you might feel a little stretch here through your hip flexors. Arms nice and straight. Outer hips hugging in. One more breath. Exhale, hands down to either side of the front foot, stepping it back, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts up to hip height, toes and knees pointing down towards the floor. One more breath here. Stepping our left foot to the inside of our left thumb. Setting up for high lunge, so heel right behind our second toe, so our foot's parallel to the long edge of our mat. Reaching back with that right heel. Inhale, arms forward and up. High lunge, Untitled. Lifting up on your front hip point so you can feel that stretch in your right hip flexors. That back heel is still reaching back. Pressing down into the heel of the front foot, engaging the quads, hips hugging in, arms nice and straight. Closing off our armpits, so outer upper arms wrapping in. One more breath. Hands come down to either side of our front foot. Step it back, downward facing dog. One more breath here. The bottom of your exhale, look towards your hands, walk, step, or float your feet up. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms forward and up, hips sink back, weight comes into your heels, chair pose. Spine's nice and long, all the way from your tailbone to the crown of your head. Pressing down into your feet, maybe sinking a little bit lower. One more breath. Inhale, coming all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands come to your hips. So we're going to do Baddha Konasana, sometimes called pyramid pose. So we're going to do from just like a standing position. So from here, we're just going to step our left leg back, maybe about 3 feet. That back leg is going to be slightly turned out, so our toes and knees are pointing up toward the top left corner of our mat. Our feet are on railroad tracks here, so they're not a tightrope like in Warrior 2, but hips distance apart. Inhaling here, staying up nice and tall. Again, we're going to move from our hip points, so we're coming forward from our, bending from our hips and not just rounding in our spine. So press down through all 4 corners of both feet, lifting up on your quads, and exhale, hinging forward. You can feel your front hip points moving forward. Maybe you put a little bend in that front knee. But pressing down to the big toe mat of that front foot, lifting up on the quad, keeping the muscle engagement here. It's not just the stretch. As you press down through the right big toe mound, gently pulling back on that right hip crease. Breathing here. Again, making sure you're listening to your body. One more breath. If you can bring your hands down to wherever they reach, or you can keep them on your hips. Inhale, pressing through your feet, coming all the way back up to stand. Go ahead, step your left foot in to meet the right in Tadasana. Other side. So we're going to step our right foot back again on train tracks here. Toes and knees pointing up towards the right corner of the mat, so they're slightly turned out. Pressing down through all 4 corners of your feet. That left heel is right behind your second toe. Lifting up on your quads, sitting up nice and tall, keeping your spine nice and long, hinging forward from your hip points. Maybe placing a little bend in that front knee, or bending it as much as you need to. Pressing a little more down into the big toe mound of that front foot. Left hip crease, gently pulling back. Releasing your hands to wherever they reach. Lifting on your quads. Pressing down through your feet. Inhale, coming back up to stand. Stepping your back foot in to meet the left foot. All right. So you're going to need your strap again, or your strap-like object. We're going to do Ekapada Padangusthasana. So pressing down through your left leg, go ahead and just bring your strap, if you have it, into your right hand. We're going to lift our right leg up to hip height. Knees can be bent. You can stay right here if you want. You can clasp your hands around your shin. Or the other option is to bring your strap or strap-like object around the ball of your right foot and extend your right foot forward. So pressing down to that left foot, lifting up on your left quad. So you're rising up out of that supporting leg. Outer hips hugging in. If you don't need the strap, maybe you can reach your peace fingers around your big toe. One more breath here. We're going to externally rotate that right leg and open it out to the right. Again, hugging in our left hip. So we're not just collapsing in it, but lifting up. Pressing down through our left foot. One more breath. Exhale, bring it back through center. Go ahead, bend that right knee, release your strap, bring it back down to the floor. All right, shake out that left leg. We're gonna do it on the other side. So grounding down through your right leg, lifting up on that quad right away. Lengthening your tailbone down, hands can be at your hips. Inhale, left leg comes right up to hip height. You can stay right here, clasping your hands under your left knee, or wrapping your strap around the ball of your foot. And extending your leg forward. Lifting up on your quads. You can take both sides of your strap into your left hand. Maybe you can reach your big toe, hugging your outer hip in. Lifting up out of that right leg. We're going to externally rotate that front foot and open it out to the side. Again, keeping your outer hip hugged in, staying up nice and tall, breathing here. One more breath. Bring it back through center. And then gently release your foot, hug your knee in, and place it back down to the floor. Shake it out. All right. Go ahead, come back up to the front of your mat. Inhaling your arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, option to flow through your vinyasa or skip it and meet us in down dog. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward dog. Breathing here for about 3 breaths. Inhale your right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, sit it down to the inside of your right hand. Go ahead, place that left knee down to the floor. Uncurl your left toes, walking your hands back for half split, Baddha Konasana. Breathing here. All right, you can feel free to stay right here, or we can begin to move into Hanumanasana, full split. So you're just gonna gently move your right foot forward and then your left toes back. Just one at a time. Keeping the muscle engagement here. So we're, again, not just dropping down into the stretch, but finding balance. So it's a balance of effort and ease. Maybe you're keeping a little bend in that front foot. Walking your hands forward or back as you feel right. Lifting on your quads. Keeping your hips right over top of the midline. So we're not letting them fall out to one way or the other, but hugging in our outer hips. Sitting up nice and tall. Breathing here. Again, keeping the muscle engagement. It's going to protect our hamstrings. Then gently pressing down through your hands, beginning to walk that front foot in, wiggling the back foot back in, back into half Hanuman. Go ahead, plant that right foot back down to the floor. Uncurl or curl your back toes under and inhale up, high lunge. Lengthening your tailbone down. Exhale, hands come down to meet the floor on either side of that right hand. Right foot steps back. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Breathing here. All right, let's step our left foot up to the inside of our left hand, placing your right knee down to the floor, uncurling your right toes, walking your hands back, lifting up on your left toes, Baddha Konasana, hugging your outer hips in. Again, make sure you're listening to your body here. It doesn't serve you to try and force your body into a pose that it's not ready for. So work where you are today. You can stay right here in half Hanuman if you're feeling that stretch. This feels good to you, and you can maintain your nice equal breathing here. If you're ready for a little bit more, you can walk that front heel forward and gently start to move that right leg backwards, keeping your hips up over top of the midline, keeping your quads engaged, trying to walk your hands back a little, sitting up nice and tall. Breathing here. Outer hips hugging in. Left leg is coming right out from that hip socket. Right leg is going right back from your hip socket. So they're not going out to the sides. Maybe a little bend in that front knee. One more breath here. Beginning to walk it back in. So curling the back toes under, helping you move that back knee forward, scooching that left foot back. Coming back into half split, Hanumanasana. All right, planting that left foot down to the floor, left knee right over top of left ankle, curling under your right toes. Inhale, high lunge. Lengthening your tailbone down, pressing down to the front foot, reaching back with your right heel. Exhale, hands down to either side of your left foot, flowing through your vinyasa or skipping it. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward dog. One more breath here. Gently place your knees down to the floor. You can bring them as wide as the mat. Hips sink back to your heels. Coming into child's pose. Breathing here. Your next inhale, gently walking your hands in, coming to a seated position. You can swing your legs out to the side and come into Baddha Konasana. So bringing the soles of your feet together. They can be as close or as far apart to your inner thighs as feels right for your body, but making your spine nice and long. Sitting up nice and tall here. Again, we did a lot of neutrally rotated positions today, like Hanuman and half Hanuman, our high lunge. So this is just a nice counter stretch, so having our legs open out to the side. Sitting up nice and tall here. Again, listening to your body. Maybe you can begin to hinge forward slightly. But we want that movement to come from our pelvis, bringing our hip points forward, not just rounding through our back. Inhale, come back up to seated. Use your hands to bring your knees back together. And we're going to come down to our backs. So feet hips distance apart and parallel to each other. So heel right behind your second toe. You're going to take a few bridge poses here. Pressing down into your feet and down into the backs of your arms. Exhale here. Inhale, hips lift up off the floor. Lengthening your low back towards, or your buttocks flesh, your tailbone, towards the backs of your knees. Using that to help you get your hips a little bit higher. Pressing down into your feet, inner thighs wrapping down towards the floor. Lifting your back rib cage away from your pelvis, making space here in your low back. Broadening through your collarbone, shoulder blades, gently pressing together. Backs of your arms pressing down into the floor. Again, finding muscle engagement here. Making space between your chin and your chest, like you had a grapefruit or something sitting there so you can breathe. And exhale, lowering your hips back down to the floor. We're going to do that again. Inhale here, press down into your feet. Exhale, and inhale, lifting your hips up off the floor. This time, maybe walking your shoulders under, clasping your hands behind your sacrum. Pressing down into your arms just as much as your feet. Lifting your hips higher, lengthening your tailbone back so that we're not stressing our low back. Go ahead, unclasp your hands, walk your shoulders back out, lower your hips down. One more time, pressing through your feet, hips lift up, clasping your hands, walking your shoulders under, breathing here. Inner thighs wrapping down, pressing through the big toe mounds of the feet. Exhale, unclasp your hands, lower your knees back down to the floor. Arms come out to a T or goalpost, lifting your knees up right above your hips, ankles in line. Gently allow your legs to come over to the right. And a nice gentle twist here. Thinking of stacking your hips. You can just look up towards the sky, or if this doesn't cause any pain in your neck or discomfort, you can look over towards the left. Inhale your knees back up through center, and gently exhale them over to the left, stacking your hips, trying to keep that right shoulder blade down on the floor. You can exhale, look out over your right hand if that doesn't cause you any stress in your neck. One more breath here. Inhale your knees back up through center. Gently hug them into your chest, Hanumanasana. Gently rocking from side to side. Go ahead, come into happy baby. So grabbing onto the outer edges of your feet, or maybe the back of your thighs, if that feels better for you. Knees come up towards your shoulders, but you want your low back, your sacrum to stay down on the floor. One more breath. And then gently making your way into Shavasana, final relaxation pose. You can extend your legs towards the top of your mat or keep your knees bent if that feels better on your low back. But gently just find a place where you can let your body relax. And take a few moments to intentionally clear your mind. So allow your body to feel heavy. Allow your breathing to be natural. Acknowledge any thoughts that flow through your mind, and then just let them pass. We'll stay here for a few moments. back to your breath. Inviting movement back into your body, wiggling your fingers and your toes. Gently hug your knees into your chest. And then gently roll over to the right side, pausing here for a moment. Press through your left hand, gently pushing yourself back up to a comfortable seated position. We'll take a few breaths here together before we complete our practice. So taking a nice deep inhale and exhale, release. 2 more times. Nice deep inhale and exhale. Last time, inhale, exhale, hands to heart center. Thank you all so much for joining me this morning. Namaste. Thank you all very much. Again, my name is Joella. I do yoga here on the UMBC Rec Instagram on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 10 a.m. And then a total body conditioning class Fridays at 5. So hopefully you'll make it to another one of my classes. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed.